It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm browsing through Steam, kinda hoping to find the next big thing to add to my library when what's this? A co-op horror game for 4 people? And it's only $5? Well, I do have a few friends and hey, I'm a pretty big fan of co-op, so why not? I went ahead and decided to message one of my friends and just say, hey, do you have $5 to spare? To which he just replied with he just bought the game. So, guess what? We were all locked in. So I grabbed 3 of my friends and descended into the Backrooms with them. Now, with that very brief introduction out of the way, let me just start off by saying that everything in this video is my opinion. I'm about to nitpick every single thing I hate about this game, and some of it is going to be hyperbole just for the sake of saying more than just, I didn't like it. If you enjoyed this game, then hey, more power to you. Sadly, that was not really the case for me. In fact, it was quite the opposite. I kinda absolutely hate this thing. I'm sorry. And just as a side note, guys, all the footage that you're seeing in this video is from my friend and editor's stream, so, you know, just go check him out. First off, let me start off with a few positives. You know, I like to preach about positivity sometimes. Alright, so I was able to create a lobby. I invited my friends pretty easily. The models look funny, which is cool, I guess. I kind of have a feeling they're just Unity asset rips, but yeah. And hey, the game was playable. I was able to run it and it didn't crash on me a single time. So hey, hooray. The game is a game. Now that I got that out of the way, let's just tear into this game because my frustration with it got worse minute to minute. First of all, this stupid buzzing sound, yeah, you probably thought it was just a sound in the main menu, but not only does it play during the short opening cutscene, but it literally does not stop once you're in game. I thought it was a bug. Hell, I even reset my game and started an entirely new lobby with my friends, but no, the buzzing was still there. The only real solution I could find to this was to just completely mute the ambient sounds on the options. So hey devs, if you guys included cool and creepy sounds in the ambient sounds thing, I'm sorry, because you also decided that this sound should be in it as well. Now that we got that minor inconvenience out of the way, it's time to figure out these puzzles. And to give credit where credit is due, the puzzles are pretty entertaining in this first section. I didn't find them too hard at all, none of my friends did. This game's not gonna give Visage a run for its money, but no big deal. There were some setbacks when it came to them, but it isn't really the fault of the puzzle design itself. So these kind of get my stamp of approval, I say, if that's worth anything. I would say it isn't. But let's be honest, who gets this game for the puzzles? I mean, it's a horror game, right? You want to be scared, don't you? You want to have that moment where you just point and laugh at your friend for overreacting to a jump scare, only for you to overreact to the next one pretty much immediately after. So, how's the horror in this game? Well, it was decent at the start, but ultimately it kind of gets ruined by some of the world's most obnoxious AI ever made. Sure, there were some pretty memorable moments here and there, such as when the loud thing appeared out of nowhere and made us all run out of the room, or this moment when the dog's head was kind of sticking out from the corner of the room as it slowly approaches. That was all pretty fun, but I swear, every single creature in this game is just a piece of shit in one way or another. Alright, let's start the roll call of these monsters. First of all, we got this wire creature that decided to camp one of my friends, not only standing over his dead body the entire time, but the moment the stupid thing went away, it would just make a beeline for him again, for no real discernible reason. So the guy, you know, he just couldn't play the entire level, basically. On to the dog, which had basically no audio that would tell if he was around for some reason. I mean, you could literally just walk up behind anyone and just start munching them without a warning. And you know what, devs? If that audio was including the ambient sounds, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm not going back to that, I'm sorry. Other than that, this dog had to be just the most annoying creature made by mankind. If you didn't have a locker on standby to hide in, you're pretty much fucked. Same goes for this stupid meat thing, but it's not your turn right now. I'll get to you in a bit. Basically, the dog was just too fast to outrun, it ate away at health states like a maniac, and this entire area was kinda limited when it came to the supplies. Quickly on the topic of lockers, a lot of the gameplay in this game is just sitting in one, and just waiting, and waiting, and you just wait. And sometimes the AI is going to leave immediately. Sometimes the AI decides it'll just stand out there. So yeah, that wasn't too thrilling, in my opinion. Next up is this PNG smiley face, which is this actually from the Backrooms like lore stuff? This PNG? That's cool. Anyways, the only thing I can say about this thing is it can just spawn on top of you randomly sometimes, and before you even notice it, it'll insta-kill you. I was just checking my inventory and it just decided to snap my neck before I could even exit out of it. And you know what? Speaking about the shit in my inventory, I have no issue with the almond water healing item, whatever the fuck almond water might be, but these stupid anxiety pills. Oh god, the stupid, annoying anxiety mechanic or whatever it is. I don't know what the devs were thinking or what they were on when they decided to put this into the game. So you know how Phasmophobia has the same mechanic? That is a pretty unintrusive mechanic. It doesn't ruin the game, and it just adds another status effect that you have to monitor, which I imagine was the intent here, just to add another status effect besides just health that you have to monitor. Well, imagine that sanity mechanic, except it made your screen unusable. It just looks like someone grabbed a piece of dirty plastic, threw it onto your screen, then made sure to turn on a terrible filter, just for good measure. Anyways, only way to remove this effect is by taking anxiety pills or dying, and considering there was a severe lack of resources in the first level, well, it just meant I ended up playing Drunk Simulator 2022 instead of a Backrooms game. Another complaint I have about this game's mechanics is that you have a limited amount of lives in the game, and that's kind of pretty harsh because this game is so random and unfortunate sometimes that you can just die to complete random events. And whenever you die, you have to go find a door to respawn, and it can randomly spawn anywhere on the level. Well, guess what? One of my friends died with 8 lives left, pretty regular amount of lives, but there's a time limit to find this door. And the door decided it would spawn in an area we had yet to access, so that was great. We thought maybe he would respawn with us once we reached the next level, but that didn't happen, so he kind of just got to spectate. Now, don't get me wrong, I am completely fine with difficult games, but when the difficulty comes from the game being unfair and random, then it's not really fun, is it? Also, isn't it kind of unfair in a game that has no checkpoints and no ways of saving the game, that if someone in your group dies permanently, then if you want to play the co-op game with your friends, which I assume is the point, you have to restart all the way from the beginning? Alright, it's whatever. The guy wasn't even mad he was dead. Next thing I know, he was just posting screenshots of his refund request in Discord. Alright, finally we jump down into the void and reach a parking lot. I assume the next level, and all I can say is, fuck this parking lot. I think the devs might have forgotten to put some lockers in this area, because making it from point A to point B without this monster aggroing on you.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck, man.
Is pretty much an impossibility. And since the area is so big, you'll probably just end up using all your stamina, and next thing you know, you're dead. Needless to say, I probably lost half of my lives just in this level, not just because of the locker issue, but because of this hallway that is just impossible when it comes to squeezing past the monster. So what will happen is you'll die in this corridor, and then you'll go respawn. But when you respawn, the monster will probably still be there, and it's such a long hallway that you're not going to get away from him. So he'll catch you again in the hallway, and then you're going to go ahead and find the door again, and then you're going to respawn again, and then the monster's going to aggro on you again, and then you won't be able to squeeze past him, and then you'll have to die again, and then you have to squeeze it. I fucking hate this area. Okay, moving on. Alright, so the office area isn't too bad. Sorta. It still has those annoying meat monsters, and there's kind of a severe lack of lockers in this area. This was also the point in the game where I realized that none of the monsters have object permanence. Basically, if they're ever chasing you, just hop in a locker and they'll forget you exist. Hey, remember how I said I lost most of my lives in that stupid parking lot? Yeah, I wasn't lying. I think I got my face munched off by the meat one too many times due to some pretty unlucky lockers. But guess what? I'm a spectator now. Great. And I genuinely mean great. I was kinda already done at this point in the game. And you know what? For being pretty unlucky during this entire game, that must have been the luckiest I ever got because it spared me from having to play what I and many of the reviews in the game consider to be the absolute worst part of the game. Hell, even the people that like this game in the reviews have all agreed that this stupid party section just needs to be recycle binned. This random reviewer describes this section as being the part where hell freezes over, capitalism is abolished, and other impossibilities exist. Now, you might be thinking, come on, that's just an exaggeration. How could it possibly be? It is that fucking bad. So the first part of this section is just popping balloons before time runs out. This part is fine. You just pop one of those limited infinite stamina items and you get to work, and it's pretty easy. I don't remember what those items called. They're called like dolphin jelly, dolfussy. Alright, second part is pretty awful, but it's manageable. You just have to walk around this maze while Sausage Sam stalks you. Open up presents, don't get caught. Simple enough, except the corridors are so fucking tight that if the AI decides to turn towards you, well, you're pretty much screwed. So what could the third game possibly be? Well, imagine the same idea of the previous maze, except you can't see the walls. You have to follow this barely visible red tape on the floor, and you have to find a way to the candle before the sausage man goes after you. And you're done. Easy enough. In fact, it should be easier, right? I mean, you can see the monster coming, so just keep moving. Oh, never mind. The AI can just cheat. Yeah, it just doesn't care. It just walks over those lines like it's nothing. At the end of this, we had one player left with one life. The mission was simple. Get to the other side of this water area and finish the game. One opportunity. One glorious chance to end this for all of us. One last... He died, didn't he? You know, no words were needed after that. We just closed the game, and next thing I know, we were all just posting screenshots of our refunds. And we played some Fall Guys. This is a completely unimportant detail to the story. I just think Fall Guys is funny. That's all. So yeah, this game is kind of a mess all around, mostly because of the AI, and honestly, at this point the Backrooms is kind of an overdone concept and has sort of really lost what made it special, but I mean, I still kind of like it. But this game, yeah, this isn't it. I guess if this video had a message besides just me ranting, it's that just don't trust Steam reviews. People review bomb decent games all the time and leave good reviews for terrible games just because it's funny. And sure, you might say, just don't take Steam reviews so seriously, go get your review from their source, but there aren't really many ways to get reviews for indie games that are on Steam. I mean, for example, I doubt I'll ever find a review for something like Sex and the Furry Titty 2, Sins of the City, and despite its very positive rating, we all know this is just bejeweled with tits. I'm not trying to gatekeep or anything. If you all want to keep memeing in the Steam reviews, go ahead. I find a lot of it pretty funny. And hey, if you like this game, then just go ahead and rate it positively. I'm not going to stop you. It's just my silly opinion. It's just, for me, it was kind of a regrettable purchase. I could have used those $5 on something better for me, like Sex and the Fur. Alright, I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day, week, month, whatever. So, yeah, peace.
So much